YouTube. So today we're going to be going over Invoked Shuttle Dogmatica. So this is a very interesting deck. Before you would play, it'd just be like Invoked Dogmatica. However, I think that you just don't have enough starters anymore. And even back then, you had a lot of cards that were really powerful that got you to your plays. But even when you were playing this deck a few years ago with like Nadir at 3, it still didn't have that enough starter cards. I think that this deck is a lot better because it has a lot more starter cards, and your starter cards can also act as your extenders. So that is why the deck is kind of very powerful. So yeah, I'm gonna try something new, and I'm not going to go into the card by card. I think because I think you can if you need to figure out what something is, you can just ask in the comments. But you try to play 15 board breakers, or cards that stop your opponents from playing. That's these 15. And realistically, if you decided you wanted to take out 3 Ghost Spell, you could play 3 Super Poly, and something else if you wanted to play like Garurara or whatever it's called in like some other cards, some other Super Poly targets. But I think that the extra deck is pretty tight. It's got a lot of good cards. The cards are very impactful, and you don't really want to take much out. So you kind of have, you actually have 17 starter cards, I want to say. And these are all of these essentially act as starter cards. So I don't really know how else to kind of put that. Eluber, Branded Fusion, and Branded Opening all gets you to your branded plays. Alistair, Magical Meltdown, and Starforming get you to Invoked plays, and of course Nadir Servant gets you to your Dogmatica plays. For the other cards, I decided that Albion was a very good card, and I probably wanted to play it. Some people will decide not to play it. I think that it's a good enough cards to warrant it being played at least at 1. I've seen some deck lists where they play like 3, and some where they play like 1. I think 2 is fine because it's hand effects to send this from your deck to your graveyard and draw 1 is a very good effect. But it also doesn't really gain you any advantage if you don't already have a Branded Fusion or Branded Opening in your graveyard. Yeah, so it's a good card, but probably not at 3. Probably not at 3, especially if you draw 2, then it's essentially just a brick. So then you have Dogmatica Ecclesia. This card will add Fleur de Lis from your deck to your hand. I don't play the trap because the trap is very strong, but you need your access to the extra deck. Access to the extra deck in this deck especially is like really crucial for the deck. You really need it. So the trap just isn't worth playing in this deck. This card, Fleur de Lis, is very good because it allows you to special summon it if you control a monster special summon from the extra deck, and then if you control a Dogmatica card, Ecclesia, you can negate one card's effects on the field. So it's very good. You don't want to play more than 2 Ecclesia though, because essentially you have 2 Nadir Servant and 1 Ecclesia, and that's like 3 copies of Searching, Fleur de Lis, and you don't really want to go. You could consider playing a second one because Nadir Servant is just such a powerful card, but I would say don't play above 2 because it doesn't really, if you draw it, it doesn't do much. It doesn't really do anything. So yeah, after that, what else is there? I guess let's go on to the extra deck. I think 2 Makaba is pretty standard. We're only playing 1 Mirror Jade. I've seen some people that are saying that Lubellion, you probably want to play 1 Lubellion and 2 Mirror Jade. I think it's the other way around. I could be wrong about this, but I think Lubellion allows you to recycle your resources a lot more efficiently. So you can always recycle your Mirror Jade, but once you're out of Lubellions, it's kind of you don't have that grind game anymore. I'm sorry if you heard that. I was talking in the background, but yeah, I think that's like it's very different. But I think that's kind of the theory that I work with. Albo Lantatus is very interesting because it essentially serves the exact same purpose of Branded Retribution, because it allows you to set a Polymerization or Fusion normal spell from your deck. But I think that Albion is just such a powerful card, and being able to send it off with Branded Fusion instead of having to send like your DT Crow or like Elber is just such a plus in the deck. And plus, this is like the best trap to send in the graveyard. I don't like the other ones. I don't think that they do enough. So I think Retribution is really the best branded trap. Despian Cortis is essentially like an OTK enabler. Titaniaclad allows you to special Fallen of Albaz during the end phase, which if you send it during your opponent's end phase, then that's like really strong, because then you're essentially able to fuse with their monsters, which is like really good. Whatever this card is, also very good because if this card is special summoned or a monsters is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls destroyed. Very good effect. Yeah, I don't think that there's too much else here worth noting, except for the Shadal engine. I think that this engine is still like very powerful. Being able to send your Apcalone from your extra deck to the graveyard to add your Schism, and then being able to special summon Winda on your opponent's turn is like really good. It's amazing. The one thing I will say with it is that it is pretty inconsistent because you're only playing 2 Nadir Servant. I will say you could probably end up playing Branded and High Spirits. That is a very good card that will allow you to access this engine a little bit more consistently. Or Extra Foolish Burial. Extra Foolish Burial is also an incredibly good card. The problem with it is that you have to pay 4,000 life points, and it's a great mechanic. I'm not sure yet. Or half of your life points. I'm not sure if it's worth sending down the drain 4,000 life points at the beginning of the duel just to set up Winda, when your opponent is probably going to have cards like Dark Ruler No More and Forbidden Droplets anyways, and they're probably just going to they can negate Apcalone, they can negate Extra Foolish Burial. I'm not sure that 4,000 life points at the beginning of the duel is worth Winda, so I'm still having to think about that, but it is an option if you really like the engine. So yeah, that's about it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.